And I want to welcome everyone to this great occasion today. It's always wonderful to see the culmination of someone's tenure in drug court. And it's just a wonderful day, and to see what can happen, and how we can beat the addiction and get a person to be the person that they can be. And I guess we've had close to 70 people graduate from our drug courts in the New River Valley, and everyone is very special. And again, it's just a result of the efforts of a number of people. I want to introduce I guess if I'm missing a VIP, I don't know, those people could be. Eric Branscombe. Belinda DeVito, who's on the Board of Supervisors for Floyd County. She is our elected official here along with Mr. Branscombe. I'm not missing any.
Went out there. The clerk.
Oh, the clerk, Rhonda. I thought Rhonda Vaughn, who's wonderful. She's the best clerk in Virginia, I can tell you, maybe beyond Virginia. Sorry, Ron, I couldn't see you. She probably don't want to see me after all the exhibits we had this week. So in any event, but again, this is a culmination of a lot of hard work on Elaina's part. And I want to just say this one more time. We have a collaboration of our drug court team, and everybody's an integral part. And we've got Eric Branscombe, the Commonwealth's attorney. He's somewhat the gatekeeper. He gets the people who come in and gets them assessed. Audrey Jones with probation and parole, she does a great job, and this team we all work together so well. Jessica Farmer with community services, she does a great job. She's got good rapport with everyone and the participants. Laurie Trail, who's our drug court coordinator for New River Valley, and Laurie is the engine of everything in all this valley. She's one of the best, if not the best. She's the best in Virginia too. And Ron, we got two great people here. Laurie is the engine that has made these drug courts really work. The rest of we've got good collaboration, but she's just unbelievable what she does. I don't know how she does it. And then Eddie Worth, Eddie's not here. Eddie's on our team. He does a great job. Dave Rhodes is a defense attorney who comes in and gives us a lot of information. Glenn Matthews is with the treatment and with the community services, and he enlightens us and educates us on what they do, and told me not to prescribe treatment anymore at one point. That was out of my area, so I listened very intently to him. But he's very integral and helps us so much in the treatment that everybody gets. At this point, we've got a special speaker today, and it's Randy Matney, who is a former chief of probation and parole. Am I going to get this right? 16th district? No.
28.
28.
28 district.
28th district. Okay, I was just 12 numbers off. But anyway, Randy has been chief of the 28th district for probation and parole. He was one of the instrumental people in getting the drug court started in the New River Valley. Pulaski, he helped get us off to a good start. He held Laurie's hand when he went to Missouri to observe a drug court. She didn't want to fly, so I just told her to suck it up, man. I said, man up. Anyway, but Randy held her hand. He was nice, I wasn't. But in any event, Randy was very important, and he's a great speaker, and we're glad to have him and privileged to have him. And I hope I've gotten everybody here today, but he's going to be our speaker for this wonderful graduation. And Leroy, my favorite person. Leroy was one of our first drug grads in Pulaski, and it's just amazing. He's for me, it's just made me have that much more passion for drug courts, which is hard to have more, but Leroy gave me more, and he has. He's made me realize a lot of things over the last few years, and so what a great man. And he's going to introduce Randy.
It's always a pleasure. Can't believe that it's been a little over 5 years since our beloved Hall of Famer, Miss Laurie Trail, has almost single-handedly pioneered this thing, allowing us to break the cycle of addiction. She's just a wonderful, wonderful lady and boss, Miss Trail. So the amazing thing is that because the induction of the drug court in our region also marks the days and years of clean time that I have. And when I met our speaker, can you believe that he said to me, he said, Leroy, this is what's going to happen. In the next 5 years, you are going to be you're going to be a participant of the drug court. You're going to get your children back. You're going to get stable housing. You're going to walk 5 years of sobriety. I'm going to retire. I'm going to become a professor at RU, and you're going to speak to over 10 of my classes. And on top of that, you're going to shake the man's hand who's going to inspire your life. You're going to become a peer support specialist. And all of this you're going to do within 5 years. And at some point, I'm going to call you my friend. No, he didn't say that. he just said welcome and don't let us down. Beautiful thing about Mr. Matney is that he's always been a straightforward kind of guy. And I was always told that if you have a person in your life that loves you enough to tell the truth, hold fast to that individual. So his educational experience is that he graduated from magna cum laude with an associate's degree in administration of justice in 1976. He transferred to Radford University and graduated in 1978 with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He received his master's degree in criminal justice through Radford University in 2005. Now I was thinking to myself, between 78 and 2005, what was he doing? Maybe he was in Woodstock, I don't know. But his work experience began with the Roanoke City Police Department in March of 1980. He worked in traffic, vice department, was a state certified breathalyzer operator, field training officer, and an evidence technician. The majority of his police service was spent in patrol. He left Roanoke City after 8.5 years as a senior parole officer. He then sought employment with the Virginia Department of Corrections and Probation and Parole officer in Roanoke. There he supervised intensive clients as well as sex offenders. He was a self-defense trainer and also trained people in OC spray applications as well as CPR and first aid. That just means he can kill you and then bring you back to life. After 6 years, he was promoted to the position of senior probation officer and was second in the charge of the Franklin County Probation Office. There he continued to carry a caseload of sex offenders and intensive clients. He also served as a preliminary parole violation hearing officer. He was promoted in 2002 to the position of Chief Probation and Parole Office in Franklin County. He served in this position until 2009, when he was promoted to be the Chief Probation and Parole Officer in Radford, Virginia. He retired from this position after serving 37 years as a criminal justice professional. While in the Department of Corrections, he was an active member of Virginia Probation and Parole Association and served as a treasurer. He was awarded the Member of the Year as well as the Oliver Beckner Award, which is a Lifetime Achievement Award. This man has been busy. After his retirement, he is currently employed as an adjunct instructor in the Criminal Justice Department at Radford University. So if y'all would, give a warm welcome to our speaker, Mr. Ram.
Well, I can truly say that Leroy is my friend. We've been through a lot together, and I think the world of Leroy. He comes to my college classes and teaches quite often, and I definitely appreciate that. But I'd like to say good afternoon to everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody. This is great to be the speaker at the third drug court graduation in Floyd County Circuit Court. That's monumental in and of itself. I'd like to welcome Judge Long, the members of the prosecution and defense bar, members of local law enforcement and probation, and members of local treatment organizations, the other drug court participants, and the family members and friends of the drug court participants, and especially our graduate, Elaina Sutphin. We're proud of you. Today will go down in the court records as a momentous occasion. We all come here to celebrate the success of our graduate today in finishing one of the most rigorous and innovative programs in the criminal justice arena. I'm glad to have been part of the initiation of drug court in the New River Valley, and I want to personally thank Judge Marcus H. Long for that opportunity. Drug court was initiated in Miami-Dade, Florida 1989. They had a bad problem with cocaine in Miami, so that's why they came up with this innovative approach. Today, there are over 2,400 drug courts in the United States, and approximately 120,000 people go through drug courts in the United States every year. Drug courts in the New River Valley was started in Montgomery County juvenile court system. It was in the form of a family court at that point, so it encompassed an approach involving the entire family. At that point, it was a foreign concept, but only sought to treat juveniles, but it encompassed that whole unit. 2012, Judge Marcus Long came to the circuit court bench in the New River Valley. He presided over Pulaski and Floyd County. He was notoriously seen as a harsh sentencer. I was sitting in here when he sentenced somebody, and I think they had a drug offense. He sentenced them to 8 years. There was somebody who was getting ready to be sentenced sitting in the gallery. They started crying because they were wondering what their fate was going to be. At that point, there was a problem with methamphetamine in Floyd County, and Judge Long knew he had to do something about it. He sentenced drug offenders to time in order to send them a message. At that point, he did that with fervor. Over time, things changed, and the change all started with a simple, inadvertent meeting at Wendy's over lunch. Judge Long walked into Wendy's, and there sat James Pritchett. James, at that point, was second in charge of the Community Service Board in Blacksburg. They sat down and they talked about drug court, and then James took that to Rosemary Sullivan, who was his boss at that point. Rosemary's retired, and drug court started. I want to thank a number of people today that have made this day possible. The first is the Honorable Marcus H. Long, Jr. His idea started out with a vision. The theme of his start on the bench was characterized with accountability and consequences. With the start of drug court, that changed from accountability and consequences to having a heart for people and hope for all individuals, despite race, religion, address, or social status. The next person is James Pritchett. He now is the current director of New River Valley Community Service Board. He shared Judge Long's vision, and he has always supported drug court, even today's very own execution. I think James is in a meeting today, or else he would have been here. The third individual, as Judge Long said, is the backbone of the program, Lori Trail. Even though she doesn't fly, she's an incredible person. She's the one that brought drug court to the New River Valley along with Judge Long. She wrote grants, or what they had to write for state Supreme Court for 5 different drug courts. Lori was always available to anybody on the phone, whether it be by text, whether it be by phone call, at any time of the day or night. She utilizes a great amount of compassion for people. The fourth is Probation Officer Audrey Jones. I had the privilege of supervising Audrey when I was the chief in Radford. I've met a lot of probation and parole officers in my career, but I never met one that has the compassion that she does. She utilizes a great balance of accountability and compassion. She knows her offenders better than any PO that I've ever met. But beyond that, she knows her family as well. Great PO. In life, we all like to believe our destiny is our own. We believe that we can decide our own fate, but that doesn't always occur. Sometimes we don't understand when the latter happens. I've always been a believer in the phrase, everything happens for a reason. One thing that we can always count on is that we can define our own legacy. Judge Long, your legacy on the bench, both in Pulaski and Floyd County, has been one of vision, commitment to that vision, compassion, and one that should be admired and aspired to by all. I thank you for the opportunities that you have afforded me and those that you have worked with and the people in this court today, as well as the citizens of New River Valley. I guess one thing that describes it all, the best is yet to come. For you, Elaina, first, congratulations. You've been given a great opportunity. You took advantage of that opportunity and you made the best of it. Drug court helped you get clean and to remain sober. I ask one thing of you. Take that opportunity that you've been given, pay it forward. Godspeed, and I thank you for allowing me today to share in your success. Thank you.
My name is Floyd Trail, and I have had the pleasure of working with Elaina while she has been in drug court. So I just wanted to take an opportunity to recognize her and introduce her and really talk about what it means to be a drug court graduate and what she had to do in order to be here today. Drug court is not an easy alternative for our participants. They have to work really hard at what they do and at the success that they have. We are not standing here and saying we're curing anyone's addiction and that we've successfully cured Elaina's addiction. That is something she's learned that she has to manage for the rest of her life. What we've done is helped her develop the tools and the skills necessary in order to do that. She has worked hard and demonstrated that she can sustain a period of sobriety for 2 years. She has completed 100 hours of community service. She has completed a giving back project so that she could positively give back to the community. She's completed and participated in and successfully completed multiple levels of intensive treatment and supervision. And so we're just very proud of her and everything she's done. We want to take an opportunity to invite her to come up and recognize her and then give her an opportunity to speak. First. Okay. That's from drug court team to congratulate you and wish you luck. So congratulations, and I know that Mr. Withers speak first. Okay. All right.
First of all, I want to thank everyone who has supported me through this journey. Thank you to Judge Long, Audrey Jones, Lori Trail, Riley McConnell, Jessica Farmer, Lindsay Good, the Drug Court Board, Leroy Robinson, Corinne, all of my treatment classes, my family, my recovery family, and my significant other. I'm also grateful for the time and effort put into making the drug court program a possibility and option for all the participants involved. This has been a long but very rewarding journey. I have changed every aspect of my life. With encouragement and guidance, I've been able to overcome a lot of obstacles, and I have found the courage to change and explore things about myself that I had previously forgotten. I chose to be in drug court for the chance at a better life, but I got so much more in return. I have prospects of a bright future, a strong ambition to succeed, and I have learned how to forgive and love myself again. I know now that I am the only person that stands in my way of having a happy and successful life. I'm no longer afraid of stepping out of my comfort zone. Change will always be uncomfortable, but without it, I couldn't move forward. I now have goals and dreams that I never thought were possible for me. With all that being said, first I had to have an honest desire to be sober. I have accepted that the disease of addiction will never be cured and it will follow me for the rest of my life. That sounded so overwhelming at first, but that is why it is vital to my recovery to utilize all the tools that I've learned. It is also necessary that I never let my recovery get complacent. I will forever be changing and growing. I used to be able to imagine life without drugs. Now I can't imagine a life with drugs. And there are a few things that I would like to say to my peers. First of all, recovery is not a chore. Sobriety is fun, you just have to find what path works for you as an individual. Find things that you can easily incorporate into daily life that you don't dread doing. Always be aware of your people, places, and things. Remember, the only thing that you have to change is everything, but you can do that one step at a time. Nobody changes overnight. No matter what any of you have done, you are worthy and you deserve a life full of happiness and prosperity. Be honest above all things, even when that isn't the easiest choice to make. You all can do anything that you set your mind to, and I have faith that all of you can do it. Once again, I am so grateful for this opportunity at a second chance at life. As this chapter closes, it is just the beginning of a lifetime of opportunity that awaits, and I couldn't be happier than where I'm at right now. Thank you all.
So Corinne couldn't be here today, but on behalf of the advisory board to the drug court, she wanted me to give this to you. I am Linda DeVito Cookenbook, supervisor of Floyd County. And one of the things that I want to impart to all of you, especially those of you over here, you know, it was told to us that the drug court would help us save money. It would help us to do a lot of different things. But what the drug court does, for me as an elected official, is to see that my citizens, that you, people who live here in our county, can strive to do what Elaina has done. And that in itself means more than any money that could be saved. You have an opportunity, and this legacy that Judge Mark Long will stay and live on in this community for a long, long time. And I just want to thank you, Judge Long, for all of that.
Thank you. Now, I guess I'll close out a little bit, and this is hard to follow. It really is. You know, over the years that I've been involved with drug courts, which is probably 10 or 12 years, we had a family drug court and juvenile court when I was juvenile judge over in Montgomery County that worked very well for families with children in foster care, and every community in Virginia ought to have one of those because it works. Foster care is so old and it's an antique, and they need to do something about that. But I could talk to you till tomorrow about some of these things. But you know, nobody wants to be an addict, and you know, nobody I've ever heard they want help, and drug courts help provide that help. I just wish we could help more. But every person, every time I see one person, like Elaina, it's so gratifying to see that. And you know, she is the one that made it work. The drug court provides her structure and support, but she's got to want it in her heart for it to work. And it's kind of funny. As we go along with people in drug court, I see a point when I know they got it. I know they got it. It can be early on, it can take a while. And sometimes it never happens. But you see that point, and I've seen it in her for a while now. And she's done such a great job, and she knows that she's the one that has made this happen. And you know, drug court, the proof's in the results. And we see our graduates, Leroy, Elaina here today. It's just unbelievable what they've accomplished. And I want to thank Floyd County for its support. Sometimes when you hear drug court, I know a lot of people think that you know, it's too soft on people that have drug problems. Well, it's not soft, and y'all can testify to that, and I think you can too. But as far as it's not soft, and it gives people the opportunity to get their lives back, get their families back, and that's, again, the proofs and the results. And as I've told people, true happiness is helping others. And I know that I'm a very happy man as I stand here. In this moment, I couldn't be happier when I see Elaina. And I want to see each and every one of y'all up here too. And you know, I guess I look back when I heard Randy speak, and we're all in here. As the great Martin Luther King once said, we all have the same blood. And sometimes we lose track of that, and especially what's going on in our country and our state today. But we all have the same blood, and we need to remember that. And we all want to help each other. And drug courts certainly have the benefit of doing that. And, you know, finally, almost finally, you know, God has a plan for all of us. And Elaina's looking forward to the next chapter. I'm looking forward to the next chapter. And the food is in the jury room. So